This stuff is delicious. Muskoka Brewery. So Muskoka's a little town up north. It's about 2 hours outside Toronto, and they brew this stuff up there. It's called Detour. It's an Indian session ale. Refreshingly adventurous beer for those who want to stay stray from the everyday. Dry hop brewed, this India session ale delivers a rewarding aroma and tasteless travel. Check your date code as our beer is best fresh, a result of our pure, natural, unfiltered brewing process. So where the heck is that? Fresh by November 30th, 2020. So that's like a month away. Anyway, it's good shit. Delish. Tastes a little bit like an IPA. It's hoppy, but it's not really sour. It's good. So yesterday we went to Rouge Park, myself, Sylvia, Reen and Neve, and went out around lunchtime. And usually when you go anywhere over here, if you're not there early, the car parks are usually packed and everybody's trying to get into a space and they're fucking killing each other over spaces and stuff like that. So we went out to this one yesterday, and typical shit. There was maybe 50 spots, but it was only one way in, one way out. There wasn't any way you could circle around the car park, so there was actually 2 traffic control people there, which was great. So we went in and there was like a queue of cars in an orderly line, which it's usually not like that. It's usually just people parking all over the place randomly trying to get a spot. So talked to the traffic control guy and he was like, you'll probably be waiting. There was like 5 cars in front of us, you'll be waiting a little bit. So he goes, people are coming in and out, and it's not that long a wait. It's probably your best bet to stay and wait for a spot. So like anyway, Rouge Park is just it's a big, like it's a national park. It's the only national park that's in the city. It's an urban park, I think they call it. Anyway, so we waited there, and we got in line, and you can see people coming out from the trails and everybody's getting in and going, and it's fine. And I just said to Sylvia, like, it's great, because usually you're swarming around the place and everybody's out for themselves and you're trying to get a spot and people are running around the place holding spots, and it gets messy and it gets nearly into a situation where you're fighting with people like for spots, which is ridiculous. Anyway, so I got up to the second traffic control guy when it was almost my turn to get in. I was the next person up in line, and I just stuck my head out and I go, Jez, you're doing a great job here. And he was like, yeah. I was like, usually in any other spot, car park you go to, it's just chaos trying to get a spot. And he goes, yeah, well, we're trying our best. So I was like, fair play, good man. And he was like, looks like you're up next. We were like, alright, see you later. So drove down. I won't mind, we were waiting for like 20 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Drove down, seen the guy coming out. He was driving like a Dodge Journey or something. And I sort of waved at him and he waved back, and grand, he was gone. Got down to the spot and looked in the spot, and there was someone in the spot hunkered down, and it was this little Chinese old woman. And I was like, I pulled down the window, I was like, what are you doing? She was like, this is my spot, my car. And I was like, no, I'm after queuing up for the last 20 minutes, like not a chance. So I just pulled out and started reversing back in, and she got up and she walked off. But just the cheek of her, I couldn't believe it, like, to be honest with you, because they must have pulled in behind us, maybe a couple of cars, and she must have hopped out and said, I'll scope this place out. How self-entitled you have to be, and like thinking you can just do that. And everybody's like queuing to get in. And I only mentioned to Sylvia before this that, jeez, if someone tried to skip here, it'd be alright war, because everybody's lining up orderly. And anyway, it was just crazy to me that someone could do that. And I was like, she was like, no. I was like, no, this is my spot, I'm after queuing up. So I just started reversing in, and eventually she just got up, and yeah, she left, and she went back down to the entrance, and she's talking to the traffic control guy. I don't know about what, but it was just amazing. madness. So that was my exciting day yesterday. We went for a walk through Rouge Park and it was unreal. Autumn is a savage time of year to be over here. Just all huge, huge old trees and leaves all over places, yellow, orange, red, crazy. And we did probably about a 5k trek, and I had Reem strapped to my chest. He's probably maybe 30 pounds now, and jeez, my calves are killing me today. Feels like I'm after skipping for about 3 hours, but good old walk. So that was my day yesterday, which was nice to get out. I love autumn, especially over here. As I said, it's just, especially when you go to parks and stuff like that, it's the nature is unreal. So we got home yesterday and something else happened. So we got home and sitting in the sitting room, and we put her into bed and we got home. He's tired, and myself and Sylvia were just sitting in the sitting room, and Neve disappeared. And usually she goes to the bathroom. She'd be in there for like a half an hour. She sits in the toilet and sings, and we were just talking shite, myself and Sylvia, and I could hear something. And it was like a little cry. And I said, is Neve crying? And Sylvia goes, no. I go, yeah, I think she is. I heard something again. So Sylvia goes in, walks into the bathroom, and she goes, you okay? And Neve was standing there with a wipe in one hand and her trousers pulled down, bawling, crying, and the towel rack, was just like a plastic bloody rack that's glued onto the wall or whatever, but it was glued into the plaster. Rack was after being pulled off the wall, and it was on the ground, and it was plaster all over the place. So Neve was in the process of taking a poo, and she was just about to wipe the bum when she got stood up. She was going to get a wipe or whatever, and she had a little thought that popped into her head. I think this is going to be fun. Let's hang out of the towel rack. So she was hanging out like this probably, and I think she may have just, Eve's probably 45 pounds at least, and she pulled the whole thing off the wall. And poor God love her, she's afraid she's going to get in trouble. So all the plaster's ripped off the wall. Coat rack was on the ground, and she was standing there with a wipe in her hand, bawling, crying. She was like, I was afraid I was going to get in trouble. So we went down. I was like, it's okay, we'll fix it. And then like later on, we were having dinner, and I just burst out laughing. She was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, just thinking back, like you were standing there with a wipe in your hand, with a shitty arse, and the towel rack was on the ground. I can just imagine it happening, and you getting up and falling. I just burst out laughing. She was like, she was not happy. She's scared. She's like this. So that was funny. So we're going to carve some pumpkins today and drink some beer. Happy Sunday.